G'day, Aussie Bonsai Bloke here, how you going? G'day guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be working on my mate Laurie's tree, red gum, river red gum. He grew this tree from seed, I believe, for 2 years, and then I've been looking after it for about 2 years, so it's about 4 years. This is the biggest pot that it's been in. It's using a lot of water at the moment. It's so high and so much foliage on it that, you know, 2 days without water, even in this big pot, and she's drying out. So just, you know, keep an eye on some of your trees when they get big, use a lot of water. Today we are just going to cut it back pretty hard and style it as best we can. I've let it grow probably too big, really, I would say. I've let it get out of control, to be honest. So it won't be a very long video, it'll be a pretty quick and easy video. But we're just gonna get back in there, try to get it a little bit back under control. I believe for a believable red gum, you probably have to have a reasonably tall tree anyway for a believable red gum, so I'm not too worried about the fact that it's got quite tall. And the size of the trunk compared to the height, if we're going to finish it here, is probably already getting close to thick enough. And I think just over the next few years, generally just growing the tree to where we want the tree, we don't need to worry about the trunk thickening up. So I had a sacrifice branch down here, not going to need that anymore. And there's just some other branches here which are probably going to turn into multi-trunks, but we'll see. And I may also do a big trunk chop. So let's get into it. So I'll give you guys a bit of a spin. Okay, not 100% sure where we're going with it, but we definitely don't want this one here anymore. So that one can go. And then I'll have to stand back there with you guys and make a couple of decisions on whereabouts we want this final height to be. Now, I have a bit of a problem. I've got to paint this black so that stuff stands out in front of it better. But I've got to go and get some black paint. Actually, do I have some? Hang on, I might have a bit, guys. Hang on. Look at what we found here. Now, it's only one can, so don't get too excited. I might clear off some of these spider webs here. Get the broom out and clear them. And we'll do some spraying. I'm definitely going to run out of paint. This paint covers like a piece of crap. G'day guys, well, ran out of paint. Got from the table height up to there, and she really stinks now. It was not water based, it's acrylic, and one of them is actually, what's it called? Stove Bright, satin black. Says vapor harmful, cause eye, skin irritation. Keep it well ventilated. Well, they actually got the shed closed up and the pot belly going to warm it up in here because it's a cold night. So I suppose let's see what happens. Anyway, let's get to this tree. So we've cut the sacrifice branch off here. And what do we do with these trunks, I guess, is the next question. And Also, how far up the tree do we want to cut for a new leader? That's another question. To run a natural leader, what sort of taper does the top of the trunk need? So, if we have a look, oh hang on, I'll turn it a bit because that branch is getting in the way. So, if we turn it a bit there, you might be able to see that. The leader sort of went up here, up into here. This broke off with my rough handling, and that was going to be the new leader. Now, what's happened is I've had so many branches growing from this one point that we've got reverse taper here pretty much, and I am debating on cutting it right back to here and then training some new stuff up, because I feel like it'll fatten up quickly and become, you know, if I let two branches grow off of here, they'll become half the thickness of the trunk in no time, and then it'll also let these ones here contribute to the canopy. And there's this ugly big bulge here, so we definitely don't want that. So let's start by chopping that one off completely, this bulge, and then see if we can make anything else out of it. Grow and Clip Bonsai for Seniors Tom sent me. And there you go, ironwood tools. So I'm just going to chop that one off and then see what we got after that. Whoops, my Port Power cup is starting to spill. Okay. Pruning saw actually works pretty well. So I'll put that down on the ground there. And you can see we got rid of a lot already. How quick do we have to taper? You know, we could run two branches up like that, one of them snapped off. Could run two up like that, like that. You want them to both come up from a similar angle, an acute angle. You don't want one on one side like that and one on the other, because that just looks stupid, big U shape in the middle. We want them both to come really from the same side of the tree, somewhere there. And how they come out and divide, well, I suppose it wants to flow with this branch and this branch. And I feel like we can keep one of these, just rather than cut right back to here, because you got a good angle change here and then coming back to here. So I feel like we can probably just keep that, then develop the top of the tree and then let the other branches come up. If that was any fatter here, because there's no taper from here to here, not really. So it is very tempting to come back and chop it at least there. But if we do divide up the top this far up, I feel like it's too high up. I want to come back down lower. So let's chop back to a shoot here and just see what shoots out. Okay, so the reason we've had to chop it back so hard today is because I was not keeping a good eye on this tree, and I let it outgrow the original design, and now we're going to have to chop it back hard to get it back into check. I feel like we can probably keep a lot of these branches and this branch and just do a bit of trimming on them. So I'll just get my snips. I had to crack open the door. It was getting pretty hard to breathe with all these fumes in here. And also, we have a little guest in here which we need to look after. Here's our little guest up here. Hello, buddy. Hello, little Willy Wagtail. Very cute. Little Willy is in the process of building a nest in the shed. I'm not going to play around too much, but that's little Willy's nest that little Willy's building, and I'm not going to annoy it. I'm hoping that it does nest in here, and if it does end up nesting in here, which it looks like it is, I'm going to go and get some little mealy worms for it and just help feed it along, because that would be super cute. Hey buddy, hello. Alright guys, to be honest, I don't know what I'm doing with this one, but we got rid of the trunk, put it around there. I think we need some direction. Like, yes, I want all of these trunks, I want to keep them, grow some more at the middle, have it all finish at the top somewhere, grow up like a, you know, like a Australian native does, gum tree. But it's sort of just as wide both ways. There's no real direction. Why some of them don't have direction, while some of them don't have direction, I think for this one I want to give it some direction rather than just have everything exactly the same on both sides. So what I might do, as you can see, if I just pull that one in like that and tie it to this trunk. Okay, so that's pulled all that in rather than it hanging way out. It's pulled all that in, and then the tree can grow off this way and finish up here somewhere, just so that it's not straight up above the base and static. We'll pull that one in, grow the two new leaves out that way somewhere. This one can come up with it. This one here will be the, well, what's that? That's the right side of the tree. The left side of the tree will come over more and finish over this way more. So the canopy will be more here rather than in the middle. I think that's all I need to do. I'm going to pull that one there. I don't think I need to pull any others in. If it was a different type of gum that I was doing, because some of the gums are different. So if it was like a pink gums are probably taller, narrower crowns, whereas the red gums seem to be a bit wider. So I think we pull that one in there, leave it reasonably wide like it is. We could pull that one up a little bit, but I don't think so. I think for now we'll leave it. So I'm going to guide wire that one in and then just do a bit of trimming back. Possibly even cut everything back to no leaves, just to induce a crap load of back budding, which is what will happen if I completely cut everything off now and defoliate it. The whole tree will back bud like mad. So maybe I will do that. So let's get into it. Guide wire, and I need a bit of tube to protect the branch and the trunk. Alright guys, so gonna have some dripper tube or bubbler tube, or anyway, whatever. Clear hose is just a great thing to protect the branches and the tree from any sort of wire biting in when you do guide wires. I'm a massive fan of guide wires. I think it saves you using a lot of wire around every branch to try and get things to move. And when you have a reasonably natural shape like this one anyway, I feel like guide wires is probably all you need. I will say I'm still really struggling with the whole concept of changing to an upright multi-trunk tree rather than the old standard bonsai design that we're all taught. The old ladder tree, left, right, back, single trunk. And it's very hard to try and change your mind around to a dynamic multi-trunk. I feel like a dynamic multi-trunk is harder for your brain to comprehend than just a single trunk, and that's probably why we all sort of started learning on a single trunk, left, right, back, because then you've only got 6, 8, 10 branches for the whole tree. You're only working with one trunk and you're just wiring out pads flat. And yeah, okay, it looks pleasing to the eye because it, you know, that's what we're used to seeing as bonsai. And it's reasonably easy to duplicate, but a multi-trunk like this, I think the brain sort of goes into meltdown mode trying to work out where all the trunks and everything's going to go. But I feel like you just want nice acute angles, everything going up, multi-trunks, branching out everywhere, and hopefully it'll become something. That's going to be my way of doing it, and we'll see whether it works or not. So anyway, I'm going to get the snips and let's have a go at it. Okay, I could probably wire that one up, but I want it to shoot out more shoots here so we can at least have 2 and possibly even a 3rd one out here. So I might chop it off for now. It seems funny to chop it off, but that will try to make the tree push back a multitude of buds here. And same with all these branches. I just want to chop them all back nice and short. Back to no leaves. And I'm hoping by cutting everything back short like this, we're going to induce a heck of a lot of back budding over the whole tree. I'm still trying to sort of select some pleasing shoots here because it'll reshoot and then you want to keep stuff. Once again, go for nice acute angles. Nice acute angles like that, just to be, rather than the old bull nose where they go out opposite ways with a big blank section in the middle. The acute angles look a lot more pleasing and flowing for the tree, and I think will make it look a lot more natural when it's all done. I just have to try and wrap my head around trying to do it natural. And I think until I've styled 20, 30 trees like this and, you know, watch their progression into a, I think that one's dead. So until I've actually watched their progression of them evolving and making quite a few trees that have this style, it's going to take me a while for my brain to sort of comprehend it. At the moment I don't really know what to expect. I'm just chopping and changing things around here. I do have a couple of mallees now which are upright. So they're not actually mallees, they're Melaleuca and bottle brush, which are actually upright multi-trunk. And it's sort of getting my brain around it, but every time you think you know what's going on, you come to a new tree like this and your brain just goes to mush. And it's, you know, you could sit there, you probably sit there staring at your damn tree for days. So I feel like I'm just going to get into it, chop it all back, keep the upright, keep stuff flowing in a nice upright direction, when branches divide, try and keep the ones that are flowing with a nice acute angle in the crutch. Crutch or crotch? Which one is it? Is it crutch or crotch? I'm not sure. I always debated that with myself, crutch or crotch. Now, get rid of that, it's dead, dead. You also don't want to keep stuff growing in as well. So we got some weird stuff going on here. You got, yes, they do come from a different location right here, but it looks kind of weird. There's a dead one there. Shorten that one. You can see here, if I was to take the middle one out, we have exactly what I was talking about. Two shoots on the side and a big bull nose in the middle. We don't want that. That doesn't look aesthetically pleasing. So even though that one was part of that one, sort of looked okay, I think it's better off gone, because now we have a more acute angle to divide to the next branch. And I'm hoping that we're going to get some branches come back here, some bud back here, which will then shoot out to help make the canopy of the tree. Like I say, I'm still learning this, so don't copy me as far as I know what I'm doing, because I don't. Just have a go yourself, and if you come up with a easy way of explaining it, let me know, and we can learn together. Like I say, I'm swapping over my whole collection from the old school ways of doing things and all the exotics, and I'm swapping over not my entire collection, but damn close to it. I'm swapping over my collection to natives, and they're going to be styled more in that upright native sort of a style, but like I say, I don't quite know what that is as far as trying to produce it. So until I've worked on a few, take everything I say and do with a massive grain of salt, maybe a bucket of salt. Alright, so there we go. We got that down. Right, everything's been cut back. There's no leaf on it. This will be a back branch. How wide? If the whole thing's going to come this way, I don't think that's too wide, because the whole thing's going to come this way, and we're going to choose some shoots this way, and then maybe head back at the top and finish up here. This here is kind of like a back branch. Yeah, you still have back branches, but it's a back trunk to help with the multi-trunk. How wide will it come out? Well, I'm not sure. It could go up more vertical, or it could go out wide. I think more vertical is going to look better, so I'm going to put a guide wire on that one as well. So just quickly go cut the tube, cut the tube. Cut the aluminium wire. With aluminium wire you can kind of get away with cutting it with your snips, but you probably shouldn't. These were expensive snips. I think they were 60 odd bucks. Now, what one are we moving? This one. I think the fumes from the paint are starting to play with my brain. So yeah, I think until you really get some direction in a tree, it's hard to see where you're going in a tree. Once you start getting enough structure done and finished, and you start moving on to your secondary and tertiary branches, then it all starts to make more sense, and then, you know, it's, I don't know, not really a home run, but you sort of know where you're going with it, with the cuts and the foliage, where you're putting all the foliage and stuff. At the moment it's all sort of a bit up in the air as to where I'm going with this thing, and where the new trunks will go, where the back budding will be. And yeah. In nature they do some weird things, these gums. in nature. You can get sometimes a branch like this that gets old and heavy, starts sagging down, snaps off here. Imagine that's the branch hanging out here. She snaps off, and then you literally get 4 shoots, 5 shoots come out here, and then they all grow right up tall, get, you know, decent fatness to them, and then they become more trunks to the top of the tree. They get right up to the top of the trees. They do some really weird things, these trees. Not sure whether it's just the fact that some of the top branches sort of snap off or die, or a drought or whatever, and then it shoots again from the bottom because it's getting more light, or the taller it gets, the more light gets back in the bottom. But they do seem to then regrow from the bottom quite often. Could be in times of stress, they start throwing stuff up from the bottom again. But either way, don't feel bad about running a new trunk up right from the bottom of your tree and then have it go right to the top. It can sometimes even go right around everything else and then come back up to the top. Go on the internet and have a look at gum trees and you'll see what I mean. They're just so varied, such a variety. Even that could be a trunk line there, could be a trunk line there, could be a trunk line there, not really there. So there's, you know, there looks pretty decent. Yet before I was looking at sort of here, but as that grows, that will sort of look right. All right, you know, I'm rambling on because I don't really know what's going on, but I think we're getting somewhere. We'll let it all reshoot, regrow, back bud. I may chop this one back actually, just to force more back budding in here. I think that'll be right. I'll leave it at that. Okay, back on the bench. Let's see what happens. Alright, cheers for watching. Aussie Bonsai Bloke. Make sure you have fun with your bonsai, whether you do whatever sort of bonsai you do. And that's the name of the game. Just go out there and have fun. Tell your mates about it. Go around your mate's place, make some trees, have some beers, do whatever you want to do. But just make sure it's fun. No worries. Thanks for watching, guys.